Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Cards Thursday. Hope everybody's well. I think I'm going to sneeze, so I apologise if I do, but otherwise I will carry on. No, it seems to have gone. Excellent. It's always the way. You press the go live button and there's nothing else you can do about it. You're just going to sneeze. But I seem to be okay. So that is the main thing. So thank you for joining me this morning. I hope everybody is well. If you're joining me on the live or catch up, it's lovely to have you here. My name's Samantha and this is the Little Greenhouse, and we are going to do Coffee and Cards live today. Right, we are going to use this amazing stamp set. Whiskey Business it's called. I have to say, as soon as I saw it in the catalogue, I knew it was on my must-have to-do list, must-have to purchase list. Not just because I love this fantastic decanter that comes with it, but it has some amazing sentiments that I know will be able to use many times, not just with the stamp set. So we have sending you an old-fashioned birthday card. That can be used on any cards, whether it's male, female, or little person. Straight up, you're the best. Cheers to you. Your top shelf. And my favourite one, being a dad is whiskey business. I think that could be used not just for a happy birthday, Dad, but Father's Day. And a thank you card maybe for Dad. So that is what I think is so amazing about this stamp set. But it does, oh, excuse me, not sure where that piece of paper came from. It does come with this wonderful cut glass decanter, matching glass. Imagine putting whiskey in a cup. A wood effect stamp, which I believe you could probably use as a shelf, and a tiny slither of lemon rind. So these are my cards. So I'll put this aside and I can show you my cards I've made. So these are my cards I have here. This one. Okay, so this is the being a dad is whiskey business. I'm just going to move the stamp set. You open it up and inside I have put happy birthday and the decanter with the slither decanter, the glass with a slither of lemon rind. Okay, so the second one I've made is this sending you an old-fashioned birthday card, using the tartan DSP. We've got some really nice tartan DSP coming through in the autumn catalogue. Really worth having a look at if you get the chance. If you haven't got a catalogue and you would like one, please do come and give me a call or a nudge, and I'm quite happy to send you one, no problems at all. Okay, so as I say with the tartan, so this is sending you an old-fashioned birthday card, and then as you open it, it says happy birthday with the glass and the rind again. Okay, I believe somebody has joined us just now. Hi, unfortunately I can't see who it is. My machine is just not telling me who's joined us today, so I do apologise, but you're very welcome and thank you for joining me. So the last card I've made is this grey one, but I think even though it's grey, it's still a bright, vibrant card. It's got the beautiful colours of the whiskey down here, and it's got two tones of grey. And what I've done is I'm just going to open this, and inside I haven't actually put a sentiment, but I have put the decanter and the glass. So there's still plenty of room for people to write. Okay, so let's close that one up. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create our card today. So I couldn't decide which one I wanted to create, so I decided that this morning we would make two. So the backing cards, or the card bases, are grey granite and early espresso. They measure at the 8 by 5 3/4, and of course we've scored down the middle at the 4 inches. Okay, and that's been done on both sets of card. Then we have the DSP to fit over the top, and the DSP measurements are 5.5, which is down here, 5.5, and across at 3 3/4. Okay, and what I've done is this DSP is the DSP that comes, specialty designer paper, that comes with the World of, or Beautiful World stamp set. Okay, and I've just used 2 tiny pieces from that. I mean, obviously they've got the maps on the other side, but I'm just interested in these today. Each card has a strip of brown early espresso measuring 3/4 of an inch and all the way down to 5.5. So we have 2 pieces of that, one on there and one on there. And then I have used the rectangular framelit to cut out my 2 pieces of cardstock, which we're going to stamp on in a second. It's one there and one there. Okay, and it is in the range of the rectangular this shape. We're going this way today. Shape stitched framelits. I have used 1, 2, 3, the 4th of the largest, from the largest in 4 down for this framelit. Okay, which then allows me to have 2 pieces of cardstock, one there and one to go on there, and they measure, these are 2 3/4 by 4 1/8, like so. Okay, so once we've done them, they will sit onto the cardstock like that. And then I have 2 strips of card, okay, which are 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch by, now trust me, I did not put this one down, 3 inches. Okay, so it's one sit at the top like so. So let's put these aside for a second and we'll focus on these 2 pieces of cardstock, and each card has the internal piece for the card, and that is the normal 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, so let's start with these 2 pieces. I'm going to bring in the decanter and also the glass. Okay, we're going to start with the glass first, and I'm going to use the basic grey as the outline. So I'm just going to pop that down, put that bit over there for a second, bring this one in, and then just dab it gently on the side, and then I'm just going to put it over here on the right hand side, not quite at the bottom, but like so. Okay, so put one there, and then I'm going to do the same on this one. Okay, and then that one again is going to go down the bottom right hand corner like so. Okay, so there we go. Pop that aside. Now we are going to take a post-it note and do a piece of masking. So what I'm going to do, my sticky side is here on the right hand side. I'm going to stick that down like so, and then taking the glass again, I'm just going to dab it right up close to the edge. There we go. Close this ink pad before I put my elbow into it, which is a known favourite of mine. And now we're just going to cut this out for the masking. Now the important thing about the masking is when you cut it down is to cut quite close to the line, because what it will do is it will sit inside the actual glass, so that when you actually bring the actual stamp that you're going to stamp over with, it makes it up close and it looks like one is in front of the other. Okay, so let's do that. I'm just going to cut across the line here. making it down. So you don't want any borders around the edges. Okay, bring that round. And there, okay. So then we can now place that over the actual glass that we have already printed. And as you can see the grey outline going around the side. Okay, now we can bring in our decanter. Tap that ink pad onto the decanter. Because it's such a large shape, I would suggest bringing the ink pad to the stamp rather than the other way round. Then we can place the decanter over our masked area and just place down firmly. Perfect. And there you go. And now what we can do is we can lift up, oops, we can lift up the Post-it note and remove it so it looks like that. Now I'm actually going to do the second one, just in a little speck of white I don't need. I'm actually going to do the second one without the mask, and you'll see later what I'm actually going to do. So again, taking the ink pad to the stamp, gently over, there we are. We're then going to bring that over, line it up and place it down. There. And as you can see now where we've overlapped it, it's not as pretty or as defined as the first one we did with the masking. Okay, but don't worry, this can be rectified and I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to take a piece of cardstock and we're now going to stamp the glass onto the paper, and then we will cut that out. Good morning, Monica. No problems. I'm glad you could join me this morning. I hope you're well. We are just making, using the Whiskey Business stamp set, and we're just making ourselves some lovely cards. These are the ones I've done already. So it's straight up You're the Best, sending you an old-fashioned birthday card, and being a dad is Whiskey Business. Right, okay, we carry on. So what I'm going to do now, given it a chance to dry, I'm going to do exactly the same with this as I did with the mask. I'm going to cut it within the lines. So again, cut it within the lines like so. Make it go round. I know it's fussy cutting and I am not a fan of fussy cutting, I have to say. If there's a die or a punch or a framelit that I can use, then I am a much happier person. But on this occasion, it's only a small glass, so we can do. Now, what I'm going to do is once I've coloured it, I'm actually going to put it on dimensionals and it will sit. Whoops. It will sit over here and therefore it won't look like I've smudged it. Okay, so this is the one with the masking and this is the one with the cutout. Okay, right, so we'll quickly colour those in. Now the colours I've used this morning, I have a Stampin' Write marker in Smoky Slate. I have a light Pool Party, and then I've got a dark Mango Melody with the matching light Mango Melody. Okay, and then I have the light So Saffron, and I'm going to colour in these glasses and decanter very quickly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dark Mango Melody and I'm just going to go around the outside of the bottle where the liquid is and the dark shadows. Okay, you can also do this with the glass as well. There we go, and come up here a bit. So the whiskey is going to go along here and reflect in the bottom, and I'm going to make sure only the yellow is kept where there is liquid, and obviously not where there is no liquid. We will fill that in a bit later with the pool party. Okay, so once we've done that and we're happy with what we've achieved, I'm going to bring in the light Mango Melody, and I'm going to go over this and go over the dark, blend it in, but bring it out a bit further, like so. There we go. Lovely. Up, and then do the same with this one. What I really should have done is done the same on the other one. So bear with me for 2 seconds while I colour that in quickly. Down the back, across, and up, and then of course on the glass. And my cutout here. Put my finger on that. Okay, and then I can bring in I can almost smell the whiskey, the light Mango Melody, and we'll come round the edge of this. I have to say I'm not a true whiskey drinker as such. However, I am partial to a glass of warm whiskey with a teaspoon of honey when I have a cold or a sore throat, and I find that does the job just perfect. And if I get to giggle along the way, it obviously makes me feel a little happier. Right, okay, so the last thing to do now is to bring in the light So Saffron. Again, I'm going to blend over the Mango Melody. Okay, and colour that bit in. There we go. Perfect. That's one there. The same. Now I'm obviously not going to go over the ice cube that is outside of the liquid, but I am going to colour it in. Might just add a touch of the light mango just to make those ice cubes slightly darker. There we go. So that's that one. We'll do the same on this one. Just run the light over there, and also on this one. Perfect. And then bringing in the So Saffron to go over the remaining colour and glass. Okay, that's that one. Over there. And then the last one on the glass here. Okay, so next thing to do is to bring in the light pool party, and I'm just going to colour in the part of the ice cube that is bobbing at the top of the liquid. That's one there. I'm going to do the same here on this one, but I'm also going to colour in the edges of the glass with the pool party on the decanter, just to give it a bit of definition. There we go. I have to say my parents had one like this when I was a little girl. Used to sit on the side for when we had visitors come over. Not that we had that many visitors, but you know, it was the thing to do then. My grandparents always used to have cake aside as well for when we had visitors, and Mum and Dad, if we were having dinner parties, always had the decanter on the side, should one of our guests particularly like to have it. There we go. Right, let's do that quickly here and on here, and then I just do it coming down there. And this pool party is brilliant for giving you the glass, not just the glass effect, but also a shadow effect as well. There we go. And obviously, once I've finished, it will lighten itself up. Perfect. So the only thing to do now is to bring in the smoky slate, and I'm just going to give a shadow effect down here and around the glass. Okay, and I shall do the same with this bit as well. Now, if you wanted to, you could take the light pool party and draw a small edge around the actual picture. So I'm just going to do it on this one so you can see the effect. You don't want too much. Okay, I'm not colouring in the page, but you're just highlighting your decanter and your glass with a little piece of the pool party. Okay, there. So this is the different effects that you get. I think you can actually just see that on screen. Okay, if I bring it in, I'm not sure if it'll, you see, just around the edges here, there's a little shadow, just to give the decanter a bit more definition. Right, okay, so the only thing for us to do now is to mount those onto our card stock. So that's that one, and I shall grab the other piece to go onto here. Oh dear, it didn't cut very well, so just bear with me for a second while I just, come on, there we go, perfect. Okay, now we can mount that onto our cardstock. Yeah. Oh dear, there we go. My new glue and my new grid paper should arrive today. I'm quite excited because I am running out fast. I think literally this is my last, this is my last piece of grid paper. So I shall be very happy when the UPS man arrives. So that's that one. And then I'm going to do the same with this one over here. I've obviously been creating a lot more than normal because I seem to have gone through 4 glues in the last month, which obviously is one a week. But you know, when you get the creative bug, you get the creative bug. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some dimensionals, and I've put them somewhere, there they are, and I'm going to pop that on the back of this one. So a bit at the top there and one down there. I'm going to take off the backings, and I can now overlay that onto there like so. Okay, and it gives you the definition of the cardstock. I don't know if you can actually see sandwiched bit there. Yeah, so that's that bit. And then we've got this one with the outline. Now what I need to do is to bring in the 2 pieces of paper for our sentiments. I have 2 sentiments left that I haven't used from the stamp set. So I've got one that says cheers to you and one says your top shelf. So again, I think on this occasion I'm going to use the Early Espresso rather than the grey granite. So let's put these out of the way so I don't excuse me, get those messed up. Stamp gently, check. Yep. And then we can bring that one into here. Perfect. So that's that one. Seem to be all fingers and thumbs today. Wipe that down on my chamois. I'm then going to take the second one, which says your top shelf. Again, tap on the ink pad and check you're happy. Slightly skew-if, so let's see if we can straighten that. Looks a bit better. So we can pop my, there we go. And then bring in my other piece and see if we can straighten that. There we go. And that will then sit on there. Perfect. Right, what I'm going to do now is we can create the bases for our pictures. So the first one we've got is this DSP, which is going to go on the grey granite. So turn that over, run that down like so. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could attach the card, the DSP, sorry, to the cardstock using your double-sided tape, okay, which I will do with this one. Pop that over, bring in the double-sided sticky tape or tear and tape. One piece down there, turn. Now, you can get many of these on the market, but I have to say, and I have used them, I have to say I do prefer ours. A, it's easier to tear. The others I've had to use with scissors. And secondly, it's not as wide, which you might think is not a bonus. But when you're trying to use it on something that's really thin, it's ideal. And also, it works really, really well with ribbon. If your ribbon isn't so thick, you can actually use the double-sided sticky tape to hold the ribbon in place on your cardstock. Okay, so I'm just burnishing the tear and tape. I'm going to take completely off the top strip at the bottom of the cardstock and at the top. Okay, and then I'm only going to part take. So take off the top very gently, bring that down to about there, and then going to turn the cardstock DSP around and do the same on the other side. And the reason I've done this is it helps to position. You can hold this when you're positioning your DSP onto your cardstock. So put that into place, bring in my DSP, and then I can lower it down, hover over, because obviously the DSP, sorry, the tear and tape will not give you the wriggle room that you get with liquid glue. So there you go. And then we can put our two banners, one on that one and one on the other card, into place with the glue. Again, should you wish, you can use your double-sided tape, but for quickness I will use the liquid glue. So that will go onto there, like so. And then we do the same on this one. Again, bringing in the liquid glue for quickness. And that will go into place just there. Brilliant. Okay, so now we just need to add our sentiments and our feature. So I'm just going to, at the moment, hover the pictures over rather than glue them down, because what I want to do is work out where I'm going to put the sentiment. So I think the sentiment's going to sit on that one like that, and then I've got this one which says your top shelf, which I probably could do the same. Yep, I'm happy with that. So bringing out my dimensionals again, I'm going to attach them to the back of the sentiment cardstock. That's that one, and then do the same on this one. Oops, already gluing it to my fingers. A piece will go there, one in the middle, and whoops, one on the outside. So I will peel off the backing here. Oops, like so. Top that over, and then I will just line it up with that there. Whoops, typical, isn't it? As long as you don't press it down too hard, you can just bring it up and line it up like that. And then we can do the same with this one over here. So, whoops, take off the backings. Don't you find the backings of dimensionals end up everywhere? And today they are sticking to my fingers as well. Perfect. Right, now we can add our feature. Again, just adding the dimensionals to the back. I think if I've got any available, I'm going to use the slightly larger ones. Just bear with me for a second. Right, what I'm going to use are the outlines of this particular, the bones, should I say, of the one there, the outsides. That can pop itself into there, and then I shall do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got one piece to go there in the corner, top there, and top there. Okay, now we can take those apart, take them apart, take the backings off. On that one, and then the same on this one. 2, 3. Okay, put that aside. Bring this one in, and we can add it to the cardstock. So I'm actually going to hover it over. Keep moving it with my finger, which is not what I need to do. There we go, lovely. And then I'm going to hover that one there. And I'm going to bring in my Gilded Gems, because I've just noticed there's a smudge mark there. So I'm going to add a gem to there. And I might use the next size down to put one there in the middle. Oh, they're on the other there. Don't really use gems normally on a man's card, but on this occasion I'm going for it. Okay, perfect. We'll do the liner for that one in a second, and then we will do this one. So I've taken the backing off of this one, turn it the right way round, and make sure that that too lines up. There we go. Lovely. Now, the only other thing I'm going to do with this one is I have got the Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to run it across the top of my ice cube, just so that when you move the card, it gives you a little glint of ice effect. I don't know if you can see that. Whether you can see it on camera, I can see it here. You've just got to please, unfortunately on this occasion, believe me that it does give a lovely effect. I'll do it on the same on this one. So the last thing to do now is to put the internal layers inside. So I've got this one here, which will sit on here, and I'm just going to put a glass of whiskey in the basic grey in the bottom right hand corner, like so, and then run a line of glue along the top. I'm glad you think that, Monica. Yeah, problem is I struggle for men's cards, and I have as many male birthdays as I do female birthdays, but trying to design a male birthday card is always difficult. But as I say earlier on, as soon as I saw this stamp set, I just knew that it was one that I was adding to my collection. Now I have got the other piece, but it seems to have run away, so I'm not going to worry too much. I will do that bit off of camera, but you have seen with the other one what I've done, and I have a desk that looks like a bomb has hit it. So those are the two cards that we created this morning. Okay, let me bring those down a bit so you can actually see the sentiment. Okay, so it's cheers to you and your top shelf. Okay, so we've got the masking version on here on the right, and we have the stamped up dimensional version here on the left. So two identical cards, but slightly different. If you can have two identical cards that are slightly different. Okay, so this is the other ones we've done, which we've got Being a Dad is Whiskey Business. Then I have Straight Up, You're the Best. And the last one is Sending You an Old-Fashioned Birthday Card. There you go. Right, well, thank you very much for joining me this morning. I hope you like the cards. I am back tomorrow at 3 p.m. for a Funky Fold Friday. So I hope you can join me for that. If not, have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back on Tuesday for a Case It Tuesday. Stay safe, take care, lots of love, bye.